Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Randomly Generated Podcast. I am Fedora Gamer, your host, and my co-host today is not Maximus because he bailed on me again. I'm joking. I love you, Max. So, filling in for him this week, we are again blessed to have AJ Smith joining us.
Hey, everybody.
And for the indie developer guest, we have one of my personal favorite indie developers, the developer of a lot of things, FarmerGnome, aka Paul Greasley.
Yeah, well, hey everybody.
And our YouTuber guest this week, or wannabe YouTuber guest, whatever you want to call him, is HiredHelp.
Sup, fools?
And I just realized I'm using the wrong image.
GG.
Anyway, so why don't y'all introduce yourselves real quick, who you are, what you do. Let's start with AJ Smith.
Okay, hey guys, I'm AJ Smith 90. Right now I'm just on Twitch doing some live streams, and I'll be there for the next 25 days because I'm doing a 25 Days of Christmas Spelunky Challenge. So you can catch me there at twitch.tv/AJSmith90. Or follow me on Twitter, one of the two.
And HiredHelp, you're up.
Alright, I am HiredHelp. I do the things on Twitch and YouTube and Twitter, and it's at HiredHelp and twitch.tv/HiredHelp and youtube.com/SpelunkyHiredHelp. I do all the things, and you can hang out with me because I'm a cool dude, kind of, or something.
Oh, okay, I see what's going on with the image. It's cutting off the bottom. Why are you doing that, OBS? Let's see. There we go. There, fixed it. Okay. Wasn't the wrong image, just cut off a chunk of it. I have your Twitters on there for everybody to see. And Paul, how about you? Who are you? What do you do? And why should people care?
Anyway, that's a pretty broad question. I make games, I guess. Play StarCraft 2, not very well. Do Loot and Dare and stuff. Yeah, just make sort of small little indie games, I guess. It's probably the best way to describe it, what I do.
FarmerGnome
And,
happens. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, keep going. I'm not gonna. I don't
I
have anything
love his
to say.
games. Most of his games are free jam games. I've covered a number of them on my channel, like Fistful of Gun, Undercover Agents, Steven Skull Hard to SWAT, which you completely got robbed on the Ludum Dare. You should have won. Just gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably my favorite jam game, actually. I mean, there hasn't been a Steven Seagal game since that SNES game got cancelled, so I thought it had to be made.
Who was it that you got to do the Steven Seagal voicing,
The voice
the
actor.
impersonation? Yeah.
It's a dude on my Twitter called Indy. He like runs Indie Game Stand. He helps some Indie Game Stand.
Oh, Indie Anime Studio? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
there's
one.
also a bundle that's just started today that's handpicked by him. I saw a leak about that.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I should retweet that.
He's a really cool dude.
He did the voices on like such short notice, and I was like, man, this sounds way too good. I'm unsure if it was just like cut from real footage, but it's awesome, man. He did such a good job.
He did. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite jam games, if not my favorite.
I like to drive SWAT trucks through right straight into the building through the walls. There's nothing more badass than that.
Yeah, it was actually based on. Have you guys seen that Steven Seagal Lawman, the show?
No, I haven't.
He actually conducted a raid with like a tank, and he like drove a tank in, and there was like this huge stir up because he killed some animals. I think it was some chickens or something. That the tank ran him over as they were doing this police SWAT raid.
Oh,
This is a real thing. Like you can look it up. Like just go Steven Seagal tank lawman. I'm not making this up. This actually happened, and that's what the game's based on. Like doing a Steven Seagal style police raid.
that's wonderful. But most of your games are free or in jam games, but his first commercial game that's currently in development is Under the Ocean, which will be what we take a look at a little bit later in the podcast. And it's very interesting. Though you're not working on that one by yourself, unlike your other games. Who was the other guy working on it with you?
Mike. He's just on the other side of the room. Actually, we're working on it right now.
Oh. Hi, Mike.
But yeah, Mike's busy coding. I don't think he can hear us.
Okay.
But yeah, like it's sort of in alpha still. We're busy at work, just changing up the game pretty significantly, actually.
It is on Steam Early Access, and I'll throw links to that when we get to that point in the podcast. But let's go ahead and get right into what we have been playing this week. Let's start with FarmerGnome.
StarCraft 2.
So, indie developer hasn't been playing any indie games, is what you're saying.
I'm so far behind the curve, man. I'm like, I got Zelda, right? The new, the DS Zelda.
I hear it's
And
real good.
Yeah, it's cool, man, but I've barely touched it, because I'm just, like, way too into StarCraft multiplayer. It just, I start playing, and then I realize, like, I've gone around 24 hours in a loop. Like, it's gone night, and then it's gone day again, and I'm like, shit, where'd all the time go? So that's my addiction at the moment. But I'll probably get into Zelda because I uninstalled StarCraft. It slows down development too much.
I hear that. I have the same thing happen to me when with just making my videos. I slack off because I'm playing one game instead of all the 15 games they're sending in my email box to make videos of. And how about you, AJ? Oh, sorry. Sorry, you done?
No, go ahead.
I think I have a little bit of a delay between when you start talking. I actually hear it. It's strange. But anyway, AJ, what have you been playing?
I have been playing a lot of Spelunky. I've been trying to get some practice in, so I'm not too bad for this challenge that I have coming up. And I've also been playing a lot of speedrunners lately. So
Speedrunners, great game.
Yep.
And that's it, huh?
That's about it.
It's a lot of Spelunky, like most streamers, a lot of Spelunky.
Yep.
How about you, HiredHelp? Let me guess. Spelunky.
Yes, I have been playing myself some Spelunky. I'm doing our friend Drumming Vikings Christmas mod like AJ is, and it's pretty awesome.
He made a Christmas mod? I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's really cool. It's really awesome. And then other than that, I bought Skyrim the other day, and I've been punching people in the face while I'm naked and stuff, so that's been pretty fun.
I forgot to ask chat, but is audio levels okay, chat?
People were saying that we sounded low and stuff, so I don't know for sure.
Let me try to fix that. This is goofy every time. Okay.
Viking, it's the most awesome thing in the world. You shush your face.
It is a very awesome mod.
Hopefully that's better, chat. Sorry, audio. Alright, well, I've been playing a lot of Tower of Guns, which is an indie game in development. I believe it's about 63% complete by the developer's estimation. I haven't made a video of it yet, and I really should because I've played it a lot in the last week. And it's great. It's a first-person shooter roguelike, kind of in the vein of like Fancy Skulls, Paranautical Activity. Personally, my favorite of the FPS roguelikes I've played recently. It's a lot of fun. It is really good. And other than that, I've been playing also a lot of Pixel Piracy, which is in alpha stage right now. It's pretty much, best way to describe it is it's kind of like FTL done as a 2D side-scroller with pirates. Plus you build your own ships. It's amazing.
Myself in that game.
The pre-orders just opened up today, actually, and if you pre-order the game, you can get the current alpha, which is the same build I currently have. There is also a demo for it that is a earlier alpha build that the current alpha build that I just got sent today, and it's also from the pre-orders, is so much better than the very early alpha that is being used as the demo. So awesome. The demo's been out for like a week, and the progress that's been made, there's been like 15 new builds in that week with so much progress made. The developer is ridiculously fast. I swear he has 4 arms or something.
I have to look into that. That sounds like my kind of game.
It is a great game, and I will send you a build of it later.
Awesome.
And I'm going... No, not the right link. I should have had this link ready since I was going to talk about this. But I'm going to toss in the green light link in the chat here. Oh, I got voice here. Okay, get rid of that. Sorry. Trailer started playing. And there is the green light link. If anyone wants to go and give that a thumbs up, it'd be greatly appreciated. And you can find the link to the Pixel Piracy demo on the green light page there. Highly recommended that. I highly recommend that game. It is quite wonderful. And I cannot stop playing it, even though it kills me constantly. It's very hard. It's got those roguelike elements, random generation, permadeath. It's hard as hell, but you make your own pirate ship. It's pretty cool. Go around looking for booty.
It's pretty awesome.
So that's pretty much what I've been playing. Is a lot of tower guns and a lot of pixel piracy. I should have played a lot more, but that's about all I've been playing. So that's what we've been playing this week. All of them highly recommended games. I mean, StarCraft 2, great game. I'm just terrible at it. So, FarmerGnome is probably actually better than me at that game.
Nah, I suck, man. What I do is I like playing in the noob leagues just so I can like actually win some games.
For confidence.
Yeah, I get stomped by like Koreans if I go up beyond like gold. It's embarrassing.
All right, so gaming news. What do we have for gaming news this week? Well, the Xbox One released. Does anyone own an Xbox One?
Nope.
Nope. Then we don't know a dick about that. Just like this kind of deja vu of last week's. But there has been quite a bit of controversy with the launch lineup for Xbox One. That many of the games are completely riddled with air quotes microtransactions to an absurd level, and several games have got a lot of quite justifiable criticism for that. Rise is one of the big offenders. I know the biggest one would be Forza 5, if that's how you say it. It's a racing game that has cars in it, the microtransaction. They try to call it DLC, but it's not DLC because these are all on the disc at launch. You don't download them all. They're already in the game. You just have to pay to unlock them. And there's cars there that cost almost as much as the game itself. A $60 AAA game costs almost as much as the game to unlock a single car. It's pretty bad. Yeah, that's what we can expect from the next generation of consoles, apparently, now that they have the abilities to more easily do that kind of microtransaction stuff. You can expect to see it riddled everywhere, not just in free-to-play games.
All I ever wanted was a non-port iPod.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. One thing in Fonz's defense, a little bit in their defense, is all the vehicles that you can purchase can be unlocked via gameplay by in-game currency for ridiculous amounts of in-game currency. Current estimates that I have heard, these are just estimates, no one's actually played long enough to confirm this, but it will probably take about 400 to 500 hours of gameplay to unlock all the vehicles. So the progression curve is definitely skewed towards trying to make you buy them.
Yeah.
It's pretty disgusting. As a developer, Paul, what do you have to say and think about these kind of business models?
That's a pretty loaded question. Alright, well, I mean, for the most part, it's pretty disgusting. I don't know, if you want to, I'd rather them factor it into the price, but I guess there's things in the way that just stop them doing that. It's just my cat meowing in the background.
Wow.
I don't know, I think, like the development costs definitely go up with each generation, like, making prettier graphics and stuff, so they have to stick it somewhere, but at the same time, sales are climbing too. It's not like the industry's shrinking. I just think it's a grab, man. They're just trying to grab some cash.
Yeah.
They've found like the path of least resistance, no one's kicking up too much fuss about paying for, and even if they are, people still pay for it, like if everybody was so fucked off with paying for extra content or DLC or whatever you want to call it, it'd be stopped by now, but it's not. It's widespread. It's like on every iPhone game you play on, according to this, some Xbox games too. So, you know,
It's pretty
it's
bad.
ingrained. You know, like you're not going to get rid of it until people just stop paying for it.
Well, it's
Like,
one thing in a free-to-play game, but in a full-price commercial game, it's pretty disgusting. I mean, it's a free-to-play
yeah,
business model, and they just want the more money out of it. And I can accept a little bit of that kind of stuff if it's just cosmetic stuff that doesn't affect gameplay and that the game is not balanced around. But when the progression is clearly balanced around wanting to make you buy those, even though they made it in a way where they can claim you don't have to buy anything, you can get it all through the game in 500 hours. They leave that part out, but so they did it that way so they can claim that you don't need to buy anything, but it's a pretty sick way they did it. And I don't know. I'm okay with that kind of stuff showing up in games now and then if it's cosmetic. It has no effect on gameplay, but the car's stats and all the cars behave, handle differently. It's very realistic in that regard. It's what the game is known for. So that ridiculously expensive car is pretty much the best car in the game. So that's like being able to buy the best gun in a first-person shooter, you know?
yeah. See, I think like the cosmetic stuff only works for some games. Like, you know, like I can think of like several notable examples where it was just cosmetic stuff, but a lot of it is those are social games usually that have those you know, for sale. It doesn't make much sense to. I think well, you know, all the Blizzard games have similar things now. You can buy pets and such. And it kind of makes sense in a social setting. But in a racing game, I don't know, the prestige is sort of more on owning the best car, and like stats make sense in a game that's all about, you know, racing and not about like social interaction.
Yeah. Well, I just have microtransactions
That
for
being
new rims. Car nuts love that stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe that was a better. But I just think the whole thing's kind of seedy. You know, it's just varying degrees of seedy. Like where do you stop, right?
Yeah, exactly. And there doesn't look like the AAA world intends to stop whatsoever in that. They just keep pushing the line as far as they can. I mean, even in
Well, I mean,
Assassin's Creed 4, there's microtransactions in it, and it's not near as bad as that car game, but
they're
it's
just gonna
definitely
keep doing it till, you know, people stop buying it. Like we can talk about it all you want and make petitions and stuff, but at the end of the day, if it keeps selling, they're just gonna keep putting it in game. Like
exactly.
it's not even the developers making the decision; it's the, you know, the top end of the company basically saying, you know, we can either sell it for this price and have no DLC, or we can, you know, stick some DLC in and make this much. And whoever, you know, whoever's running the top end of the company, the shareholders or whatever, it's, you know, of course they want return on their investment. They've, you know, pissed several $1,000,000 into X game. Of course they want to make as much money as possible. So, you know, the people at top don't have any interest for the creative vision of the team. They're just there to make money most of the time. I'm sure there's exceptions, but
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
most part, you know, if you're putting $1 million or $2 million or whatever it is into a project, you want to see big returns because it's a risky venture. It's not like every game makes money.
Yep. I totally agree there. I'll never blame developers for that. I'm pretty sure no self-respecting developer wants to put that garbage in their game, and they probably cry themselves asleep at night having to do that. But yeah, it's the suits that decide you're gonna put this in, whether you like it or
Yeah,
not.
it is. I mean, it is like a top of the company sort of decision. But end of the day, I mean, if you work for a company that's peddling sort of DLC ridden games, and then you know, part of it's on you to say or to try and make some change. Though I don't know how feasible that is. I've worked in some big companies, and people just pig-headed, you know, to an artist or a programmer's decisions or, you know, opinions or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, that's the unfortunate part, and I feel sorry for developers stuck in that kind of situation. And it's like Assassin's Creed 4 has it some, but you can pay to like gain resources. So you can pay to not play the game you bought, is what you're doing. It makes no sense. But it is a very good point. Gamers vote with their wallets, and as long as this kind of stuff sells, they will keep pushing it till they find the point that it no longer sells, and then dial it back to where the general public it keeps throwing money at them. And as long as anyone keeps throwing money at them, they're going to keep doing it. That's the sad part, as terrible as it is.
I don't think you can just dial it back a little bit. It kind of doesn't work like that because the whole industry follows a standard. Like you notice, once one company has success with DLC, everybody follows suit, and like you've got entire platforms that just rely on DLC. It's not going to be dial it back. It's going to be freak out because no one's buying games, and then like the indie market boomed. Well, it had a boom when like DRM was at its height. People. Dragon Age, I think it was, had like crazy amounts of DRM, and there was for every article about DRM ridden whatever game it was, like everybody just thinks, oh, well, I guess indie games are kind of the solution to that. And I imagine we had pretty good success with running a campaign on Reddit about we just said, if you want to pirate our game, sweet, basically. We made a little like a pirate version of the game that you could download for free. It was called the Cockroach Edition or something like that, and that got pretty widespread on Reddit. And it's just because people are kind of like sick of the whole DRM thing, and it's an odd stance to take, saying go ahead, pirate my game, I don't care. But it's a different angle you can take, and when everybody's sick of like an entire almost like a section of the industry is just riddled with something they like, something they don't like, whether it's like DRM or DLC, extra DLC, then there's going to be a market that pops up to counter that, and that's what the small guys got to count on, like sort of being nimble and avoiding like making the mistakes of like big companies and following your own path, basically.
Yep. What I don't get with that car game is you can't even call it microtransactions when it costs as much as the game itself did. I haven't looked deeply into it, but I was seeing some tweets about there actually being $100 US car in that game to unlock. $100 to unlock it. That's more. It's a $60 game. Rich people have nothing better to spend money on. Apparently, I don't know. I don't get the logic behind that. But I heard it's some conflicting.
My money on.
You okay? Good thing you're poor then, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, HiredHelp? You're gonna go buy an an Xbox One in that game and buy a bunch of fake cars?
I was not planning on buying the Xbox One at all, honestly. I was thinking maybe getting the PS4 just because of the cool streaming capabilities it has, but I don't even know if I'm gonna get that at this point. So.
But there's those awesome cars. Don't you want those?
I can save up my money and get like an awesome model car. That way I have something in real life or something.
For less than $100.
For less than $100.
How about you, AJ? What do you think of it? This whole you can't call it DLC because it's actually on the disc, and you can't call it microtransactions. So let's call it money grab. That's what it is. What do you think of the whole money grab thing?
I think it's a little out of proportion, at least in this case, where it's like the $100 to unlock a car. I feel like if it was smaller things, they might be able to get away with that more. But yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
That's the bad thing is this kind of stuff happens a lot in mobile games. There's mobile games that have unlocks that cost 10 times as much as the game itself did,
Yeah.
And now it's coming to the AAA console market, apparently. All right, well, that's a depressing enough topic. We'll leave that one alone for now. I know I had more news stuff in mind. Now I can't remember. Steam reviews, that is a thing now. Steam user reviews, I guess is the better way of putting it. Kind of like Metacritic user reviews, but one thing I really do like about it is Steam has no scoring system, no number system, which I cannot stand arbitrary number scoring systems. I've not looked too much into this to see how well it's panning out so far, but it sounds like was a good concept. I don't know. Have you got a bunch of reviews on Under the Ocean, Paul?
I haven't even checked, man. I don't really pay too much attention to. All I do is like support sort of stuff. But a game in like alpha, everybody has an opinion, and it's kind of hard to gauge until it's done. But for stuff like Fistful of Gun and stuff that's more finished, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I listen to reviews in general, but yeah, just I don't pay particular attention to any one person's opinion. More just like what everybody's saying. In general, I guess.
Okay, well, this is specifically about the Steam review system that just got implemented a couple days ago.
Yeah, and I haven't even seen it on mine. I haven't logged into Steam for probably a day or two, so yeah, I haven't checked it or anything like that.
It's interesting. I haven't looked to see if it's just total scum, like it's turned into maybe YouTube comments or something. But I think Steam put a good framework in. One, there's no number score system, which is bleh. And two, the person reviewing it has to actually own the game on Steam, to be able to put a review for it, which makes sense. But they're like Metacritic user reviews. There's no check to see if you even own the game. So you get a lot of trolling on Metacritic user reviews.
Yeah, I mean, like Steam in general is a pretty harsh place. Like you'll get maybe even worse than YouTube comments. YouTube comments are like, I don't know, a mixed bag, but Steam you'll get like really, really supportive people, and then just people that just go straight to personal insults,
Yeah.
And like, especially with developing a game, it kind of hits you a bit, and that's why I don't really read it too much anymore. Like, after people say, "Oh, you're scamming us" or whatever, it's like, they just come up with inventive ways to insult you every time, and it's like you just start zoning out and just not really reading into it as much as you should. But yeah, I probably had more hatred spewed on like Steam forums than anywhere else.
Yeah. Indie devs definitely have to have a thick skin to do what you guys do.
Yeah, I mean that's part of making games, man. If you put yourself out there that you're doing something right, if people are spending 2 minutes writing this hate speech on their Steam account at you.
Luca did make a good point here in the chat. He says they should put a minimum number of hours in the game till you can post a review for the Steam reviews. And I do kind of agree with that. Sounds great, but then people would just leave the game running overnight and to troll you,
Hold up, I'll just fix my audio. I think someone said it's a bit soft.
That would be all of your audio, which I turned up again, so hopefully.
Okay, is that better?
No one, I asked if it's better, and no one said no. So no one said yes, but no. Skype
Yes.
Skype
I think
audio
that's
is
a
tough.
good idea. Putting a minimum amount. Like some people will play the game for like 5 or 10 minutes and then just write their little hate speech or whatever, or I love it. And I don't think that's really you can't really gauge a game in that sort of time.
Yep.
I mean, that's
In
just my
chat
opinion.
here, it also says that apparently it displays the number of hours that you've played when you make the review, so that should be helpful. That
Oh
for
right,
the
I forgot about that.
developers. So if you
Yeah, that's
get
pretty
a
cool.
bad review from somebody who's played for like 5 minutes, you can kind of just disregard that.
And that's really good for people looking at the reviews as well. Someone leaves a rage review and they look, oh, this guy spent 2.5 minutes in the game. Clearly his opinion doesn't matter whatsoever. So I think Steam definitely put a good framework and good limitations on how it's being used. I don't know if that will make it a wonderful thing or if the trolls will still get through anyway, but I definitely think Steam did a decent job of trying to make it productive rather than terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds
Well,
like
I mean,
it's got a better start than a lot of things.
You'll still get the green light comments, like just people that just there to, troll basically. But I mean, you get that with anything. It's not really avoidable anymore.
And so I want to look into that more. I should go and check out some games and see how the user reviews are shaping up. We'll do that in the near future. The only other interesting piece of news that I know from last week is Indie Game Magazine, the
Oh
website.
yeah.
It became publicly known that they were charging for reviews.
Yeah, heard
Th-
about
Yeah,
that.
how couldn't you? It was all over Twitter, and for good reason. I find it extremely despicable.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's stupid.
And I know some people defend it like, well, the writers, they need to make money for writers to get paid, but my counter to that would be it's your job when you're starting a website like that, knowing that you're not going to make money until you can grow it enough to make enough ad revenue to do such, just like starting a YouTube channel. I don't make any significant money off of my YouTube channel, so should I charge indie devs to cover their games on my channel? That's
Yes. Of
okay.
course.
Okay, you'll get a bill.
it was $50 a review, eh?
Yep. You'll get a bill from me soon, Paul, so you know, for the past games that I did on my
Okay,
channel.
yeah. I'll pay you in indie spirit.
Indie Spirit is wonderful, so I'll accept that.
Cool. Yeah, I'm pretty opposed to it. I think if you put the money, if you expect developers to pay, then at some point developers will want something back. It's too close to the source, man. Like, asking a developer for cash can only lead to bad things, whether the intentions are good. And not to mention, like, it's really hard to trust whatever they say, knowing that every developer that got a review on there gave them money, like,
Yeah,
I know they said on their site that the review team won't know who's a sponsor and who's not, but I just think it's seedy.
it is. I mean, if you're going to spend money, you may as well just do an actual advertising campaign. Instead of...
And that's the thing, like, oh no, yeah, so, go man, I was gonna say the Kickstarter for Indie Static, which is a pretty similar website, did pretty damn well, like,
Mhm.
Enough that it met its goals, and I think it went over, and they released some of the extra things for their Kickstarter. But I mean, that's a valid way to go if they need money, and they should be like focusing on growing the site to a point where they can get the ad revenue, or like something else that isn't just so greasy, I guess.
Yes. Indie Static is a site and the YouTube channel that I greatly respect, and the Indie Static YouTube channel was a large part of the inspiration for me starting my own channel. And Josh Mattingly's mustache. Enough said.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, if you're going to spend money, you may as well just go spend $50 on like a YouTube video ad campaign instead of giving $50 to them and they might end up bashing your game. Assuming that they are going to be unbiased in those reviews like they claim, which is a
I was gonna
very
say,
big stretch.
the unbiased seems to be a pretty big point for them on their reviews.
Yeah.
Which if you're paying money, I would want them to be honest, not unbiased.
Well, honest, unbiased
What I
is the
was
same
doing.
thing. Yeah, unbiased, honest. It means that they're not going to rave about your game just because you paid them. They're going to be honest about it, is what they're trying to say when they say they're going to be unbiased. That's what they say, but it's hard. That's just their word. When there's money being exchanged, it's hard to trust that very much.
Yeah.
Maybe if you pay them double, you're going to get a good review. Who knows?
Yeah, that's it. How much is it gonna cost to get a 10 or 9?
Yep.
You know.
But this story has updated today, actually.
Oh really?
Oh, are you okay over there?
Yeah. It's just Mike's on the phone.
Oh, okay. Well, I heard falling stuff, but apparently this is actually on Indie Static's website. I found this today. There was a tweet about it earlier today. We were just talking about Indie Static, but they had a story about this, and it's been updated. That apparently, well, let's start from the beginning. This only started happening when Indie Game Magazine's ownership changed hands. Someone left and someone else took over, and that person took over enacted this policy. Indie Game Stand has, or not Indie Game Stand, Indie Game Magazine has not always done this. They did not previously charge for reviews. This is only a recent development when a new person came into power. Well, now it is known that that person is going to step down on December 2nd. Somebody else is taking over, and that policy is going away. Which is good, but unfortunately that's going to be a pretty hard tarnish on your reputation to get past, which kind of makes me feel sorry for them. It was one bad person in control there, and now they're going to have to do a lot to get rid of that bad publicity.
Yeah, I mean, like most of the writers I talk to that I know from Indie Game Mag have sort of cut their losses essentially. So they're gonna not only they're gonna lose like talented people like Tom Christensen, I think his name is, and you know like just their writers in general, like they're not in the same place that they were before everybody just piled on them about their changes, the site's changes. So yeah, I don't know if it will be the same.
I'm glad they're changing back, and it just definitely shows that the community has power. It was a massive community outcry against it, and that caused change quite rapidly, actually. So, and I wish them the best of luck in the future. I hold no ill will against them once they change that policy back, and the person that had that brilliant idea is now gone. Will be gone soon, tomorrow, in fact. So I do wish them the best of luck in the future, and I will be checking out their site and giving them some views. So, because I previously did like the site before this whole thing happened. All right, so why is all gaming news recently just bad? So bad. Like last week and this week.
There's plenty of gaming news. It's just the bad stuff sticks. It's interesting.
Good point. I mean, we can say some good gaming news. Starbound Beta is starting on the 4th, so that's coming out pretty soon. I kind of want to get into that. And Frozen End Zone's coming out on the 5th, or the beta of that's is starting on the 5th. I believe it'll be via Steam Early Access, and that is a very interesting game. And my friend Josh, aka Gaming FTL, he's trying to organize a Frozen End Zone YouTuber tournament, which I will be part of, so that will be pretty fun. So there's a little bit of good gaming news. Awesome games coming down the line.
Yay.
But
Well, that's good to hear.
yeah. But I didn't get much from HiredHelp or AJ about this indie game magazine thing. You guys plan on starting to charge people to stream their games?
I've always done that. It's kind of been the whole thing from the beginning, so...
You have to hire him to play your games.
Yeah,
True.
That's where the name comes from.
He is HiredHelp. I mean, he might be charging sexual favors and not cash, but it's still HiredHelp.
Anything will work, honestly. I'm a desperate man.
Give him a Big Mac.
I get Big Macs work. I like Big Macs.
I mean, my personal opinion on it is most of the games I cover, I get emailed to me by the developers, and I have a lot of respect for indie developers giving me their hard work for free. And that won't color my opinion of a game if it's terrible, but I definitely respect that, and that's more than enough payment for me. It's my honor to cut.
That's how I feel about it, pretty much. I've been getting, like, since I started this whole thing, I've been getting a lot of emails from devs and stuff wanting me to play their games, and even if I don't like the games, I'm glad that they thought about me and they respect my opinion, even though I'm like brand new to this whole place. Pretty much.
Exactly. So, YouTubers and streamers, much better sources, just saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, and speaking of indie games, let's go ahead and play a little bit of Paul's game here. Let's get this fired up. This is Under the Ocean, which is on Steam Early Access, and you can go ahead and drop the link to it in the chat if you want to, Paul.
Okay.
If you can fetch it, because I'm going to have
to... Won't say no to self-promotion.
Exactly.
Actually, I don't have a login for this thing. Just Google Under the Ocean. My Twitter's there, the FarmerGnome one. I'll throw out some free keys after I get off this. So, just jump on Twitter and wait for me to spam some keys, I guess. Some Steam keys. Yeah, I mean, okay.
I think the game sound might have been really loud there for a second. Sorry, everybody. Alrighty. And hopefully game capture is working alright. Okay, and this is Under the Ocean. I actually picked this up quite a while ago, I believe, during the Steam summer sales, and have not really got around to playing much of it, which I do a lot. I have a lot of games I've never played, unfortunately. So,
fine. We can sit on the menu because most of this is actually being thrown out, believe it or not. We've kind of gone a bit. Say what? Yeah, the menu's actually being thrown out. We've kind of gone and overhauled. This is probably the biggest update to date. This is the one you're playing there is Alpha 8. And from Alpha 8 to Alpha 9 has been about what? It's almost been a couple of months now. It'll be about 6 months by the time we release this update. And it's not so much an update, it's just a massive reworking. We listened to the community. We sort of read all the Steam forums and stuff, and we got a lot of feedback about the direction that people want the game to go in. As well as sort of now that we had some success commercially, had money to make the game better, we sort of decided we want to go ahead and make it all it can be rather than just make it a small little indie game sort of thing.
which should I go into? Random, free build, or old levels?
I'm not sure. I think old levels is probably the most stable.
Okay.
Old levels is probably the most stable.
It's a survival game, which is a genre I like a lot. It is a 2D side-scroller, but that is going to change, I believe. I saw one of your devlogs that you're actually going to be adding depth to it, where it's not just one fixed access, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I think the side-scroller, it's a sequel to a little indie game I made for a competition called Under the Garden, which is free on my site. And self-promotion aside, the side-scrolling elements are cool, but it didn't really capture the survival feel as much as it should have. So we're putting a bit of depth in and just changing up a lot of things that we've been wanting to do from the start, like doing same screen multiplayer is a big one that we wanted to add. Like, we want to do.
Oh, that's a shark.
Oh yeah, go back, go to left.
Oh. I did a random level, and I needed to go to the right in the random level, so I expected to go to the right again this time.
So the side-scrolling stuff, I don't know, it's alright for the basics, but we've got a wicked, I won't call it a prototype, like a wicked build for Alpha 9 now, and you can sort of run around in 3D, or mostly 3D. It's kind of, the best way I could describe it is like Paper Mario or sort of Double Dragon or something. It's primarily like side-scrolling, but it has depth. So it's a similar game in that, it's still like a platformer, but there's there's back and forwards movement. And I mean, we're doing, for this update for Alpha 9, we're doing online multiplayer, 4-player co-op, same screen, and just putting a lot of elements that kind of fit the co-op theme, I guess.
I don't know at all what I'm doing. I'm assuming I can probably make like an axe or something.
I mean, I can't even remember this build. This is how far back it's gone. I think there's a bug with your backpack. It's white for some reason.
Yeah, it's like that. I didn't know that was different. I didn't know that was wrong.
So we've also changed up the crafting system. That's the old one there, how you sort of just, it's a recipe-based crafting system. You just put things in your inventory, then it creates it. We've got, we put controller support in now, which is a bit of a change. So like on your 360 controller, you've got, your two analogs. Your right analog is actually used as the crafting thing, and it opens up a little crafting window into, like craft a spear. You sort of you turn the wood and then use the other one to like carve the the spear out of a stick or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's much more tactile now, and it's just completely different game basically. There's professions in it now, so you can pick your starting class essentially. Like between different classes, they have like different I don't know, like starting abilities, I guess the best word for it is. So yeah, we've kind of gone a bit nuts on the whole, the next update, just to make it as good as it can be.
I am very much looking forward to that. I've checked out, what is this? Firecracker. Light with flame. Now it's a wet firecracker. So you can only hold 3 things in your bag? Oh no, there's bag space
No,
too. Those are your quick
yeah, you can
slots.
just put it in the center of the bag. It's just yeah, the inventory is a bit broken on yours for some reason.
It's a
Um,
pretty cool inventory
Alpha,
system though.
yeah, well, I think it's good for the mouse, but we wanted to put controller support in, so we've gone back to the grid, which I don't know, it's a bit of a hot topic on the forums. Everybody was like, you know, I guess it divides people. Some people want like the Diablo sort of system where it's just, you know, the Warcraft system, whatever, where it's just
Inventory
boxes and
Tetris.
yeah, basically, and you know,
It
everybody
is.
else, the other side of that wanted like freeform stuff. So I don't know. We went with the boxes because it works better on the controller, and I mean you'll see that now for 9. I don't want to talk it up too much, otherwise, come Alpha 9 when things are not perfect.
When is Alpha 9 going to release?
We're hoping about February. So we've got about I don't know we've got a fair amount more to do on it, but it doesn't even look like the same sort of game anymore. The character graphics have changed. The world space is obviously 3D. There's a fair amount to do. So like the reason it's taking so long is just the massive amounts of changes.
Where do
mean,
Sorry, where do I find drinkable water? Because I'm going to die of thirst, I'm sure.
I think in a cave. There should be a cave to the left. I think you can, if you can craft a bucket or find a bucket. Actually, there might be one in the cave. I don't know. Just go for a run.
What is this? Explosives? Okay, maybe I should not smack that. We got flint. I'm pretty sure I need that. Okay, I gotta take the axe off to not swing at everything so I can actually pick something up here.
Oh yeah, the quick slots are a bit rooted at the moment.
Grab some grass here. It's very much survival, which is a genre I really like, actually. And you said the art style's changing? I kind of like the tiny head art style. I hope that's not changing too much.
No. I mean, it's probably going back towards like Alpha 2 or Alpha 3, where it was a little bit more cartoony. You know, sort of. I don't know how to describe it without making it sound kind of crap, but it's lost like a lot of its dark look, and it's back to like kind of bright colors and stuff, just because of the views changed. But I mean, the character's basically the same, and it's just more vibrant now. I guess the best word for it.
Okay.
It's much more similar to like Under the Garden than the current build you're playing. There's still dark areas and stuff. We just had to reconfigure the art because you know, a lot of things have changed. The lighting system changed up as well.
How do I get water in the bucket?
I think you roll your mouse wheel to rotate the bucket.
Ah, oh hey, that's good to know. And then dip it in, and I have a bucket of water now. Full currently. Oh no, that's seawater. I don't want that. Dump that water out. Why does this cave have seawater, damn it?
I think it might be. Oh yeah, the waterfall might do it.
Oh, okay. Get out of the water. It really confuses me that space isn't jump. I'm just so used to that.
Yeah. We've got it on a button now, so that should be. There's just so much stuff. I can't even look at this build without kind of
Cringing.
you know, well yeah, cringing and just kind of forgetting what how it's played.
I take it the build you're working on's been under development for quite a while, huh?
Yeah, about 4 months now. So like our normal updates are like 2 or 3 weeks apart. So it's quite quite a massive difference. We've pretty much changed almost everything in the game. Like it's an almost from the ground up redo. So it's a pretty big change.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while. I can't talk about it too much. I can't show screenshots yet, apparently, because you know, we gotta wait till everything's perfect, and we're not going to change it because, for the most part, it needs to be you know, like it's such a big change, and people have already invested in you know what they see here, that it has to be good. You know, like we can't just promise one thing and deliver another.
Look at this badass slap this tree around. This is wonderful. Whack. Whack. Okay, I'm easily amused. Sorry.
It's okay. I mean, there's lots more of that stuff in the current builds. It's just more tactile is the best word I can use to describe it. Like the crafting system's, you know, done with like your analog sticks now, and it's your movement's much more fluent. It's just a better game. Really happy how it's turned out, and we still got a lot of work to do. Hopefully February, but I don't know. We'll see at this point.
So when I throw my spear, like I literally have to pick it up and put it back in the slot manually every time.
Yeah, well we've changed that too.
Okay, that is annoying.
Yeah, it was crap. I don't know. I guess a lot of that stuff's been the thing with Alpha 8, the one you're playing, is we kind of got suggestions from like, you know, the hardcore survival crowd, and then like people that just wanted a fun game, and we needed to make a decision. Do we want to make a fun game, or do we want to make, you know, the sequel to Stranded 2 basically? And we just sort of decided that end of the day we want a fun game over survival elements. So you know, a lot of the stuff that made it more obvious, you know, aside from the giant blue character, a lot of the stuff that made it kind of quote unquote hardcore, you know, has been changed up to make it just a little bit easier to play. You know, like you know, throwing spears, for example, you can queue up like 99 of them and just throw them like chain lightning, you know, like just one at a time until you run out type thing. So stuff like that has been streamlined, and you know, gunshots are quite hard to do. I don't know if you've got to craft a gun in this right now, but it's incredibly hard. You know, you got to reload between each shot, and you got to put powder in. It's, you know, like an old black powder weapon type deal, and in the new one, it's just you combine it all, then you can fire it as much as you want, so long as you have ammo for it. So it's much more gamey in that sense. Even like when you cut up corpses and stuff, it's all just done for you now. So it's much more simplified, basically.
Ooh, beehive. I'm sure this is a terrible idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. Oh, nothing happened. It sounded like a great idea. Let's try it again.
I'm pretty sure you won't be able to move that. It's a physical...
I heard it. It took damage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took 4 damage.
It shouldn't be taking damage.
It took 6 damage. A potato! I found a potato on the ground. Let's eat a potato. Come here, ground potato. Nom nom nom. I need drinkage again. Let's see. I got that bucket of water here. Drink. I'm clicking drink. There we go. Now I have open wound. I do have this healing herb thingy.
The whole UI is sort of being just thrown out. So
I kind of like the UI in a way. The whole kind of
I don't know.
tactile feel of it. That's what I'm thinking of.
I like that too, but like it's just it doesn't work on some level. Like I don't know, I don't know how to describe it, but playing the new one, it just feels much more streamlined, I guess. Like there's a significant learning curve to using like the Alpha 8, the one you're playing, the UI. It's just
Yeah, there's no tutorialization whatsoever, so.
no, God no. I mean, like it's early alpha, so
Exactly.
that sort of stuff is given, but you know, at some point we're gonna have to get it to beta. Just gotta stop making Ludum Dare games and you know.
But they're too good. Don't ever stop making Ludum Dare games. They're amazing.
There's one in like 12 days, I think, or 11 days. So I'm real tempted, even though we got deadlines. Any suggestions? I'm gonna make hopefully no shooters this time. Make something different.
I don't know, if I was creative, I'd probably do that kind of stuff myself, so I have no good ideas. So,
Yeah, you just can't pass up a shooter. They're just fun to work on, especially when you're making something kind of nothing like a shooter. But
yeah.
I don't know if I find something cool that isn't a shooter within the limits of whatever the theme is, I'll definitely do it. But if not, I'll just make another shooter. Why not?
Yeah.
And then you can do a review on it, like Steven Seagal and Undercolor Agents.
And Fistful of Gun, I covered that too.
Yeah. Well, I mean that wasn't a Ludum Dare game though.
Yeah, right, right. Pick up these stupid things. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
It's I don't even know, man. I'm just looking at this game going, the fuck is this?
I can break this with this. We'll do that.
I think Crouch was killed in Alpha 8, so you won't be able to get through there anyway.
Ah.
Um,
I'll just play with
I
physics.
I actually have to dart soon, because I gotta get to town before everything shuts. I live out in the country, so
Alright, that's fine. There's one thing I would like you to touch on before you leave, though, that I saw your devlog about the music in the upcoming build, the dynamic music system, which is amazing, but I probably can't explain it very well. You want to talk about that for a minute before you take off?
yeah. I'm probably not the best person to ask because I didn't like do all that work. Very little of it actually, but it basically takes. Shit, this is gonna be a hard one to explain. Everything is like broken down into tracks. So each song is about, sorry, not tracks, like into smaller pieces. So each song is about 23, between 23 and 30 different instruments that all play kind of on a separate file, and like they blend across each. It's incredibly complex, but they blend across different themes. Like the drums will stay in the tense, danger themes, but they'll fade off in other themes, and it's kind of procedurally done. Mike spent a lot of time just fine tuning that stuff with Chris, the musician, and yeah, it turned out really good. I'm really surprised how awesome it sounds, but we're gonna need more of it for Alpha 9, basically.
It's very dynamic, and it changes based on if there's danger around or the mood of the area you're in, correct?
Yeah, well, it's not fully realized yet due to the fact that it's kind of early alpha, but we want to do things where we have more than just a few themes. I think there's 4 right now. Do things like like the Zelda, when you find an item type, the little drones that go, you found a secret item, whatever it is, we'll do smaller themes that kind of.
Oh, bees. I had to play with the beehive somewhere. Die, bees. Die, beehive. Oh, I'm dead. I'm really looking forward to that interesting music system where it's not just changing to a different track when you move to a different area. It dynamically changes based on what's going on, but not changing the music, but changing the different what instruments are currently playing in the track and such like that. Again, it's really hard to explain, and neither me nor Paul can explain it very well, apparently. But there's a.
If Mike was in the room, I'd put him on, but he just darted out before. So, yeah, I mean, it'll probably take till about Alpha 11 or 12 to kind of finally come into realization. But the current Alpha 8, I think, has the basics of it, and the music's in. It's just the code's not fully there yet. So. In good time, I guess. It's not really the sort of game that's been moving super quick. You mentioned before, Pixel Piracy's putting out a couple of updates a week or something like that. We're just taking our time with this, and we want to make it right because we've got, enough breathing room to really, flesh it out properly and just listen to the community, I guess, is the other thing.
I just axed some birds, which is probably a very skillful thing to do. I don't need these things in here. Trying to figure out the crafting system better. But this is Under the Ocean. It is on Steam Greenlight, or Steam Early Access, not Greenlight. What am I thinking?
I think it's about $2 at the moment, actually. We're on, we put it 75% off just to get, so we don't really like charging too much for our games. I have a problem with like charging too much for my games in general. That's why most of them are free. Pretty much all of them, actually. Yeah, it just feels kind of a bit weird, I guess. After making so many freeware games that I have to, charge for them now. I don't know.
You're a talented developer, and you should make money off of your skill. It's my opinion on it. Oh, I found bandages. That's probably a good thing. I'm just digging around, like, hacking everything I can apart with this axe. It's very dynamic how these, everything you hack apart, it's not just turns into wood resource, it's a chunk of what it previously was.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff's cool. We'll probably keep a limited amount of that for Alpha 9, but a lot of that is why the game is so complex right now. Like, that functionality creates nightmares in code, basically.
I can't imagine that would be easy, no.
Like the fact that's why Terraria and in Minecraft and stuff like that they just have these generic blocks and stuff that have set sizes, and it just makes it a lot easier when you've got like varying size physical objects with different properties. It's just turns into it's insane. So a lot of that will be kind of somewhat simplified, but we'll try and keep the feel of the building. The problem I have with the building and just chopping up and stuff is you only really see it if you just messing around. Like there's no gameplay in there's no right or wrong way to cut up wood right now. So there's still stuff I need to figure out. But yeah, I mean, you guys will see it in a few months when Alpha 9 releases.
I am very looking forward to that. Before I'm done playing this, though, I'm going to go play with that shark. I'm going to go axe the shark.
I'm 100% sure it's bugged, but
the shark's bugged?
Yeah.
I
remember probably. I think it was Alpha 7. And it was twitching around.
Oh.
You're about to find out.
I can't axe it while I'm underwater. That sucks. And it's somehow I picked up a stick instead. I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't axe while underwater, so that thing did a lot of damage, like 72 damage a hit.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bugged. Yeah, there's not much to say about this though, because I can't really remember most of it. It's like an earlier build of the game. I don't remember what Fistful looks like online now, because I've got a build that hasn't been released, which is basically final with.
I want that build, by the way. I'm just going to say that. I saw a little bit of that streamed, and there's a lot more to it than the free version that's currently out there does.
I mean, do you have Dropbox?
Yeah.
You got a Dropbox account? Just send it to me on Skype, and I'll put you on the development Dropbox.
Awesome. I'm just giving you my email address here. You can add it through there, right?
When I get back to home, because I use my home computer for the Dropbox.
So how and when can anyone else get their hands on that much more in-depth build of Fistful of Gun anyway?
I don't know. I mean, it's done. It's just...
you made it and you don't know what you're going to do with it, huh?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I want to make a few more games and make a 4-in-1 pack or something. That'd be cool. But I need 3 more games. So...
1 down, 3 to go.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that on previous stream about making like a kind of like a mixtape type of game package of a bunch of games once you get to the point. What do you think the price point of that's going to be?
I don't know, like a couple bucks, $5 or $2 or something. Whatever makes sense, I guess.
Well, I will buy it even if I already have this build of Fistful of Gun, just because you're a great developer. You deserve to make money off of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, but yeah, cool. Thanks, man. I think it's not necessarily like being good developer, it doesn't equal money. Like, a lot of people making games for iPhone and stuff, and
yeah, it should, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I think, for the most part, you can make crappy games and make money much easier than having a conscience and like shipping something, decent. Like, I've worked on some pretty shitty games, as far as if they're fun or not, but they've made more money than, most of the stuff I've ever made. Probably 90% of my games You know, like it's weird, man. I don't really want to get into it. I don't want to get into the whole what um, just how games make money and stuff. It's pretty depressing, really.
Yeah, and it would be a very long discussion.
Yeah, yeah. It's not. It's like there's no one true thing either. It's just in general.
Well, just finish Under the Ocean and it'll make you rich. We'll just go with that.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe that's it. Release Fistful for free, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's been cool talking with you guys. I gotta dart off and get to the shops. It's like it's 1 p.m. here and it's like a 2-hour drive. So
Thank you for joining us. Go ahead and drop a link in the chat to your website where all of your awesome free games can be found, including Undercover Agents, Fistful of Gun, Steven Seagal, Hard to Swat, and a bunch of really great free games. If you like awesome free indie games, he has made so many of them. And I believe it's FarmerGnome.com, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. It's FarmerGnome.com. I won't be able to type it in the chat because I don't have my account to Twitch.
I'll do it for you.
Okay,
I will
cool.
throw that link in there.
If you have any, I guess look out. I'll probably make another game in the next 12 days for Loot and Bear.
I will be looking forward to that.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes, and keep in touch, guys.
You too.
Still
See
talking.
you later, man.
See you guys.
Have a good one, man.
Okay.
All right, that was FarmerGnome, a wonderful indie developer that does way too much stuff for free.
Yeah,
So,
he seems pretty awesome.
his jam games are amazing. What he can do in a week or 10 days or whatever those time frames are in those games. That's what most of his games come from, are jam games. And that brings us to Kickstarter Spotlight. We are looking at Catacomb Kids, which is a very interesting roguelike platformer. And let's see if I can get the right things here. There we go. We will go ahead and play the trailer really quick for you guys. Oh, yeah. Restart it. There you go. Play, please. Thank you.
We can only hope, German Viking.
And that is the pretty wonderful trailer. I kind of like that trailer. There's no BS of the developer talking about it. It's just showing game. This is something I actually saw many months ago, probably right around the time I first started my YouTube channel. Somebody posted early trailer to this on our indie games. I tried to get a hold of the developer back then, but I never got a response from him because I wanted to check it out. But now it shows up on Kickstarter. I'm like, oh hey, I remember that.
Yeah, I saw the Kickstarter probably like within the first couple days of it being live. I noticed it on there, and then you brought it up today. I was like, whoa, I've known this game.
It looks pretty wonderful. There'll definitely be people out there, it's roguelike platform and be like Spelunky ripoff. Nowhere close. It's a lot more mobile in the movement. There's combat roll, there's wall jumping, there's all kinds of cool stuff like that, and it's got a lot more RPG elements to it. There's full equipment, full stats, spells, all kinds of interesting things like that. A lot more RPG type depth than something like Spelunky has. And from what I've heard, it's also probably more difficult than Spelunky.
It looks like it definitely is a lot more difficult than Spelunky.
And
Just because there's the multiple elements going on there.
yeah, there's ranged throwing stuff, stabbing stuff, jumping on things' heads, like as your Mario apparently as well, and you bounce on mushrooms and this video is not playing on the stream because YouTube videos and I don't know.
Yay.
I think it looks really cool. I really want to play it. Apparently the guy's been working on it for over 5 years now.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, just a hobbyist. He has done like pixel art and pixel animations for a lot of different companies and has been working on this in his free time and has decided after 5 years he actually wants to make it a thing and finally finish it. And it sounds like a great idea. And a lot of rolling. That dodge roll is a very big part of this game from what I've seen of the videos.
You just really like games with dodge rolls, don't you?
Apparently so. That's why I don't play Spelunky. No dodge rolls, 0 out of 10. That would actually be a really useful thing to have in Spelunky. But no, I like how it has a lot more depth than some. You know, there's several action platformer with roguelike elements out there. There's Rogue Legacy and there's Spelunky and there's several others, I'm sure. And I like the fact that this has a lot more RPG depth to it. Which I don't know. I play a lot of RPGs, almost as much as I play roguelikes. So I'm looking forward to it. And let's look at it here. Let's see how it's doing. Well, yes, I forgot to mention this is actually already past its goal, so it's already going to be a guaranteed thing. But there is 10 days left on its Kickstarter. Still time to hit some stretch goals. Still time to get in for cool rewards. So let's see what some of the rewards are. $10 gets you the game and a wallpaper. $16, 16. That's a weird number. Access to alpha, beta, and behind the scene updates, all that stuff. Full game soundtrack, digital art zine, and post producer. For $32, a high resolution illustrated game manual PDF in the style of old school game booklets. That's kind of cool. I like that nostalgia trip.
It's got some really cool rewards so far.
A tips and tricks guide, and the short story Deeper plus Descent into the Deep. So I guess I don't know much about its story besides its kids in a catacomb apparently.
Sounds about right to me.
At the $48 one, you can get a physical copy of the art, zine, and manual. That's actually pretty cool. Signed from the and stuff like that. Let's go see what the high end things are. That's where the cool stuff always is. They went really modest. There's no like $1,000 reward tier. The highest is $240, which 3 out of 5 people already snagged. And let's see, a short animated loop of a character of your choice from CK, which I guess is the developer since he's also the pixel artist and animator. Doing a combo casting of a spell being awesome, and a physical flip book of the animation plus true presence. A flip book of the animation. That's kind of unique. That's very unique.
I think CK stands for Catacomb Kids.
Ah.
Yeah.
But it's a one man developer, so CK is the developer.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna see if I can contact this guy after the podcast and see if he can send me a build and I'll make a video of this because it is quite wonderful. All right, well I guess that's enough blabbling on it since I don't actually know a whole lot about this game besides what you see in the trailers. The gameplay looks really fun and I just want to play it and I'm really glad it's already been funded. And high laugh to win. I had to repeat that, but hey McSpidey, didn't notice you come in because I'm terrible at paying attention to chat. So
Yeah, I've noticed.
our developer took off on us, and I don't have a whole lot more to talk about.
Yay.
We would have normally played the game a little longer, but he had to go since he's in New Zealand. Times are different, that kind of such things. So let's go back to this. We'll just make this a little bit of a short one this week. That just brings us to self-promotion, wrapping up. I'll promote for FarmerGnome since he's not here. You can check out Under the Ocean on Steam Early Access. I believe it's like, well, it's on sale right now for a couple bucks. He has it off 75% off. It's like $2 to $3.
Why not get it?
Yeah, it's like $2.49 or something like that.
Why not get it now?
In the beta 8 or alpha 8 that's going right now is kind of barren and abandoned, but there is going to be a lot more to the game in the near future once the new version goes out. So, a couple bucks, get in on the ground floor and get a very interesting game later on. And so, also, all of his free games, which there are many of, can be found on his website, FarmerGnome.com, which I will link here. And as he just said, he's probably going to be joining the next Game Jam and be making another free game in the near future. So you should keep an eye on his Twitter for information on that, which his Twitter is @FarmerGnome. All right, AJ, how about you go ahead? Drop links, tell people to go and watch everything you do.
Okay, so I'll actually be streaming pretty soon after this, but I will be doing a 25 Days of Christmas Spelunky challenge, where I'll be playing Spelunky for the Christmas mod of Spelunky for at least half an hour every day for the next 25 days until Christmas. So that's what I'll be doing, and so people should come check it out, and thank you HiredHelp for my links in chat. And I don't really have a set schedule for it yet, so just keep an eye on my Twitter to know when that is.
And how about you, HiredHelp?
My name's HiredHelp. I stream and stuff. My links are in chat now. Oh, I forgot to put my Twitch in there, but whatever. Just click on my name or whatever. But yeah, so yeah, my Twitter's there, my YouTube's there. I've not put a YouTube video up in like 3 days, but it's coming back. Don't worry.
And your last one was pretty terrible.
Your last one was pretty terrible.
Wait, what was your last video anyway?
I think it might have been this one.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I thought it was, and that's goddamn horrifying. I hate SpongeBob to begin with, and I don't know why I clicked that. Why did I click that? So, if you want to see a strange man twerk in a SpongeBob costume, check out his YouTube channel.
I'm the man to see. I'm the best at that stuff.
But he is just youtube.com/HiredHelp.
No.
Yep.
Spelunky HiredHelp.
No. Yes.
It is Spelunky HiredHelp? Shit,
Yeah.
I never paid attention. I just followed a link you threw out.
Scumbag.
Did someone really...
Spelunky Hired.
Did someone really take HiredHelp before you?
Yeah, someone did. Same on Steam. I'm Spelunky HiredHelp on Steam too.
That's scumbag.
I know. Wait, what the hell, man?
Yeah, that's branding fail right there. You don't have consistency across the board.
Oh well, I'll live.
Yeah. But everybody should go subscribe to him, because he does things sometimes. And he does weird things, but
You never
sometimes he
know
does
what you'll
good
find.
things. Yeah, true. It's so true. It's like Russian roulette when you click a video link of his. It really is. And I am, of course, Fedora Gamer. You can check me out right here on twitch.tv/Fedora Gamer with a 4 for the A, which is really awkward to say out loud because someone took the name I wanted to, but I planned ahead and took the same name everywhere, so it's not branding fail. But anyway, I stream rarely, like once besides the podcast, but I do intend to stream Pixel Piracy maybe tonight or tomorrow. So you can check out some Pixel Piracy sometime on this Twitch channel. But most of my content is on youtube.com/Fedora Gamer, which is anyone that's watching this VOD will already be on that site. So that's about it for this podcast. Thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you next week where Maximus should be joining me. He says he will be. He said that last time too, and the last time. But
Yeah, I remember last time you said that.
I have no idea who the other guests will be next week. I had to figure that out.
I'll be the guest, but I'll just talk as Kermit the Frog the entire time.
That might actually be wonderful. So, thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
To a Kermit the Frog bye, since you said it.
Kermit the Frog says bye.
Nice.